Good day. In this video we're going to look at functions applications. We are going to answer questions about these two graphs as part of the grade 11 and 12 syllabus. Please remember that if they do give you a sketch like this and they give you some extra information over here, that you really understand what this is saying. So other than giving us this parabola's sketch and this straight line, they also wrote A is the reflection of C across the axis of symmetry of F. So we first have to know where the axis of symmetry of this graph of F is. They also told me g of x is minus 2x minus 3. So that's that line going down there. They called the g over there. And f of x is this formula they gave me. That's of this parabola. Firstly, you need to know where the axis of symmetry is. The axis of symmetry is always right in the middle of your parabola. Then if the information down here says A is a reflection of C across this axis of symmetry. So this A is right opposite this C, exactly the same distance away. Remember, I'm telling you that now, but that you must see yourself in an exam or a test. So the first thing they ask me is to work out the coordinate of C. So the coordinate of C will be 0 and 5. On the y-axis, your x value is always 0, and this C is right next to A, and that is where y is 5. And we got that information from where it said A is a reflection of C across the axis of symmetry. The next question they asked is find the equation of the axis of symmetry. So first you must know where it is, and then we know that the axis of symmetry is right in the middle of the parabola. So there we have a minus 4 for x and a 0 over there, so that must be halfway between those two x values. And the answer will then be x equals to minus 2. That will be right in the middle between minus 4 and 0 for x. Next they asked us to work out the equation of f of x. They gave us the formula, so we must now find out what the numbers of a, b and q are. This is quite a mouthful, so try and stay with me. First I wrote down the formula. We have the axis of symmetry, so p is the x of your turning point and q is the y of your turning point. We do have the x of our turning point, which is minus 2. So far my formula looks like this. Then I take one of the coordinates on my graph and I plug it into this formula. Put the 5 in the place of y and the minus 4 in the place of x and simplify. Then I get 5 equals to a times 4 plus q. And this is now the first part of a simultaneous equation coming. Then I take another coordinate on the graph. I'm not allowed to take that one. I'll tell you now why. I take the 1 and 0 and I also plug that into this formula. Then simplify it. And that gives me the second part of my simultaneous equation. Please also just remember, you can't take this coordinate and this coordinate. You can never take on any graph two coordinates next to each other or underneath each other. You have to take them on a different level to make it work. Now we're going to do simultaneous equations with this equation 1 and equation 2. So now the technique I used, I took this equation 1 and got the q alone. I left the q and took the 4a to the side. I got 5 minus 4a equals q. It's still equation 1. Then you substitute this into equation 2. So I took this part and substituted it into q in 2. Here I wrote it for us. Now we're going to solve for a. You simplify and you solve for a. So you get the answer a equals to minus 1. Then you substitute this a that you got, which is minus 1, back into 2 or back into 1. I'm going to substitute it back into 2. So I rewrote equation 2 here. Substitute the minus 1 in the place of the a. And then solve for q. So the answer is q is 9. So now we have a as minus 1 and q as 9. And I can put it back into our equation here. So our final answer is y equals to minus bracket x plus 2 bracket square plus 9. Please stop the video and get your brain around how we got this equation of f of x. I rewrote the equation here because we're going to use it in the next question. Next, they asked us to work out the x value of d. D is the place where the straight line and the parabola are equal or where they intersect. So we take g of x and f of x and we equate them to each other. Now we have an equation with an x squared, so we take everything to one side and equate it to 0. Then we factorize it and solve for x. Then we get the answer x equals to 2 or x equals to minus 4. Now I must look at this logically. 2 is on this side and minus 4 is on this side. And yes, there's the minus 4 we already had, another place of intersection. So x will be 2. So x at D is plus 2. The last part of this question says, reflect f of x in the x-axis, and then find the turning point of this reflection. The turning point of f of x was minus 2 and 9. I got it from that plus 2 there and that 9 over there. The turning point of the reflection is going to be minus 2 and minus 9 because it reflects in the x-axis, goes straight down here. The x stays minus 2 and the y becomes minus 9. Reflection in the x-axis, the y changes its sign. Please stop the video and see if you can understand what happened. Please indicate whether you liked or disliked the video and subscribe to the channel. If you run into a specific problem that you can't solve of school mathematics, you can send that problem with a WhatsApp photo to this number. Then we'll try and solve it and send back an answer to you as soon as possible for free.